afternoon, people. I hope you're all well. It is Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. And I hope you're all well and doing okay. And don't forget, if you want to be on the show, let me know and we will get you in somehow. We are filling up very, very quickly. We just gone into, I was looking at November earlier and we're filling up that too very quick too. So at this moment in time, you never know. So um, if you want to come on, then book in, and we will try our best to fit you in. Okay, so we got Angela coming on today, and well, in a minute, hopefully, and oh, and so hello,
Hiya.
hi
Hello.
there.
You alright?
Yes, thank
I'm
you.
good. How are you?
I'm okay. Brilliant. So tell everybody about yourself, Angela.
Me?
Oh yes, please.
I I'm gonna say a big hello first, and then I'm just gonna say that I am a person that has discovered that only I can save myself.
Right?
Yes. Is that a
What?
shock?
No, no. Save yourself from what?
Save myself from anything, especially um especially anything to do with my thoughts, my feelings, and all that.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Mm.
And talk to us more about your thoughts and your feelings. How do you deal with your thoughts and your feelings?
Right. One of the things we know is that our feelings and our thoughts are not us, right? They are part of us, but they are not us. And they should really not define us. So, one of the things I've learned to do from that knowledge is separate the feelings and the thoughts from who I am, right? For example, when I'm feeling tired, most people will say, I am tired, right? True or not?
True. Yeah. Carry on.
Or when I am not well or when I am sick, most people will say, I am sick, right?
Right.
And obviously here is where the danger comes in, because every time we say I am, we define ourselves as that which we are calling that we are.
Right.
Do
Okay.
you see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And that's where sometimes we are confined in our circumstances, we are confined in our situations, and we end up being stuck in those situations because we have confined and defined ourselves with those circumstances, with those feelings. Or like, for example, when you say I am angry, you are feeling angry, right?
Right.
Do you see? Do you see what I mean? And those words have, over the years, almost like jailed us into those situations. Because I know I've spoken to you before, and what we know is, when I don't know if you can remember, when God was asked, when Moses asked God, when there was the burning bush and everything, and then he asked God, who are you? Who shall I, after the encounter, who shall I say to the people you are? And what did God say?
Right. Okay.
God's God said, I am who I am.
Right.
And what does that mean? It means that God is everything. Like, I am who I am. So every time we say, I am that, whatever we are saying we are, we become that.
Okay. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
So, what do you teach your clients to do then? Tell everybody.
All right. In fact, it's good you asked that question because it's a very, very important question. Just this morning, someone asked me about why I emphasize on separating our thoughts and our feelings from the person you are. One of the most important things that I say to my clients, because my clients are parents of teenagers, I also work with teenagers in part, which I also teach them this as well, is when you are when thoughts, thoughts are going through you, and especially most of us experience a lot of negative thoughts, isn't it?
Yeah.
And most parents find it hard to separate those thoughts from who they are, right?
Right.
So they are, because they're being defined by those thoughts, they act as, because we know thoughts become things, right? And we tend to act how our thoughts and our feelings lead us, right? That's physics. That's just how it works. It was James Allen who said, as a man thinketh, so is he, right? So it's very important to separate your feelings, your thoughts from the real you. So who is the real you? The real you is a magnificent person. The real you, if you think about yourself as a creation, God's highest, most form of creation, who are you? You are a valued, important, magnificent person, right? So when we have these negative thoughts, for example, when you're feeling, most parents of teenagers will say to me how angry they are because their teenagers has disrespected them. They've done things that they shouldn't be doing. They've said things that they shouldn't do. Most parents are so caught up in that they are not actually able to distinguish between that their feelings, how they are feeling, and who they truly are. And who they truly are a loving person who loves that kid, who loves their kid like the best thing that ever happened. That's the real you. Because the real you, who is made in the image of creator God, is love. Because God says God is love. True?
True. Yeah.
So, and also, because of that kind of thinking, they are unable to distinguish between the behavior of the child and who the real child is. So
Right.
most parents are unable to love their kid because their kids have behaved in ways that they shouldn't be behaving. And the reason they behave in those not very good ways is because that's how they were feeling, that's what they were thinking, and therefore that's how they acted out. Right? So do you see why it's so important to distinguish between the two? Because when you as a person, I always say every person, and I have worked with young people from all sorts of and walks of life, from all settings, including like very, very supposedly kids who've done very bad things and they are in prison, right? But when you actually are able to separate the kid from their behavior, then you are able to draw out of them the real kind, and loving, magnificent person that they are. So that is the advice I give to parents about when your kid has done something, maybe that made you feel extremely angry, right? Go back. Let's go back to the nucleus of who you are, right? And separate yourself from exactly who you are, who in your nucleus of you are love. You don't just love, you are actually love, right? And what does love do? Yeah, love loves unconditionally, right? So you don't love them on condition that they're being good or they've done what you asked them to do, they've respected you. It's a very hard phenomenon, isn't it?
Yes.
I as a psychologist myself, and also as a parent of a teenager myself, I still struggle with that idea because I'm human, right? I'm human. And and I and when my kid has angered me, or when some of the kids that I serve have, they've made me walk up the wall, uh, I, I get caught up in this as well, right? But there is a difference between not knowing and knowing. When you know, as Maya Angelou said, when we know better, we do better. And that's why a conversation like this with you is so soulful, because when we understand that we are not our thoughts, we are not our feelings, and we are not our behavior, then we are able to separate those, those two. And also we feel we get to a point of power, because then we can look at those thoughts, right? Like let's say, for example, when people think, oh, I'm not capable, I don't
Yeah.
feel enough, I don't, and all those feelings, right? You can actually look at them as a separate entity to you. Of course, they're within you. They're within you. Sometimes they are so palpable, you feel you're one with it, isn't it? But when it's true, we are humans, aren't we? Right? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know about you, but I don't know if you've ever felt so angry that you could choose someone, I know I have. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
or
I've
or you
definitely.
could, you could. Absolutely. And I think most of us have, truth be told, right? But when the difference between those people who go ahead and do that which they shouldn't do, and those that are capable of restraining, is because we have learned to separate that feeling, that emotion, from the person that we truly are. And we can, all of us can. And that's why I started with that statement, which was which takes people by surprise. They think, oh my God, only you can say. I mean, of course, there are situations that people rescue you, save you. But ultimately, we have the upper hand in what happens in our lives, in terms of, what am I going to continue thinking? Okay, this thought has come in me, or this feeling is coming in me. But what am I going to continue thinking from this moment on, when I have become aware? Because we know that thoughts and feelings become things, right? And that's your behavior. So when we are able to rise up and catch ourselves, telling ourselves that we are not worthy, or telling ourselves we don't belong, or telling ourselves that we are not enough, when we are able to catch ourselves feeling like that, then we can say, oh, hold up, that's my feeling, right? Am I going to allow myself to carry on feeling like that, and hence be confined and become that person. Because the more you feel of no value, believe me, I mean, in psychology, we know this, in sociology, they know that the more you live in that little I am not valued box, the more you feel that, and the more you will not even attempt to do or be things that make you feel valued, right? So and that's just the way it is. And it's and that's why I said only we can save ourselves. And how can we save ourselves? By having this awareness, knowing what to do. For example, in fact, the example I gave to this parent who was asking about separating these feelings, thoughts, and behavior from us was the kid. She didn't know how to respond to the kid who was now calling himself a loser. Why? Because yesterday he was unable to perform a task. So the task he had been set, he lost at that task. Now, what the kid has done, the kid thinks he's a loser. So the mother is asking me, how do I support this kid so that they know that they are not a loser, right? And what has happened is what has happened. So what I said, you must be very strong to separate between the event and the person, right? Separate the lost event. You failed at that event. That does not mean you're a failure, right? Life does not fail. You are life, right? The very essence of you is life. The very essence of you is love. And love does not fail. Do you see? So I said to her, you've got to work hard to help this kid understand what happened was the event. The event did not go as expected, but you remain the same. Why? Because remember, before the event, you were still there. So you supersede, you transcend the event. You transcend. We as human beings, challenges come, challenges go. But human beings transcend these challenges, because if we were to be defined by those challenges, then those challenges could have been there even before we were there. But the challenge has come after you're there. So what does that tell you? You're bigger than that challenge. You were there. You were more important than the challenge. The challenge is something that has come. It's an event. And human beings are not events. Yeah? So
Yeah.
so that's
I'll tell you what, you are really, really good. Really, really good at what you do, and it's really good. Thank you for coming on again and explaining about these issues and stuff. And bless you for that. I'll get you back on some other time and we talk more. Thank you so much for the day, Angela.
Thank you so much, Steve, for this opportunity to have a chat with you. As always appreciated, and so much love. You guys remember, you are life, you are love, and love does not fail. So you actually never fail. Things you do and things that happen around you might fall and fail, but not you, because life doesn't fail.
Amen. Praise God.
All right, then, Steve. Speak to you
Okay,
later.
now see you later.
Bye bye now.
Take care.
You take care. Bye. Right. How do we do this?